Topical issues. Some African past traditions. Today I'm going to touch on an interesting topic. There was a time when I was seated and thinking and suddenly had a psychic communication because of something I'd said, and it cropped up. Marriage. And so I thought, because many things used to happen in the past, and people who talk about the good old days as if they were there. And I decided to put some things open, clarify some things the way they used to happen, so that we can compare and find if they were the good old days all through, or if there were some things that were not good during those old days. Welcome to the topic of marriage in the African society. Marriage was a very important activity in the African society. I'm going to talk from the past, not the very recent, because there are times when I would sit with the elders when I was small and they would tell me stories. There are times when I interviewed people on how they got married and they gave me stories. There are times when I interviewed people from where they came from, how marriages were done, they gave me stories. There are some things that I saw when I was young. So I'm going to talk generally on those terms to deal with African marriage. First of all, I'm going to start with the African community. We had clans and sub-clans, and there were some clans that could not marry. 2, there were certain characteristics within certain families that people avoided. So you would say, you will be told, do not marry into the family of so and so. During the past, the parents had a lot of authority in dealing with marriage. They could pick for you a marriage partner, and that was that. So let's start with marriage itself. Traditionally, what used to happen when a boy grew of age and a girl also had come of age, there were some communities where when a boy was circumcised, he had come of age, ready to marry. There was some community in the African society, even Kenyan, where girls used to get circumcised. So when a boy is circumcised and a girl is circumcised, we shall talk about girl circumcision in another series. This one I want to keep it to be a series on African marriage, African customs, other customs that come. But we shall talk about circumcision of girls and how it used to happen in another series. So some communities circumcise up to girls. So when a girl got circumcised and a boy was circumcised, he could take adulthood activities. He was ready to become a husband, and the woman, the girl, had now matured to being a woman after circumcision. But in some societies where girls did not get circumcised, there were some rituals that they would undergo, and now they will be considered grown-ups in the society, ready to be married. The normal procedure was this: the parents find out about the girl, or you find out about the girl, their lineage, their family lineage, their blood lineage, see if they come from the same clan or not, if there is any relationship. If there was any relationship, you could not first start a relation. It was taboo. But if there wasn't, then now what would happen is you would send elders to the girl's home. They would talk. And then from there, if there was some agreement, you would make a return visit. This time, ready to negotiate dowry. And then from there, you would pay dowry and traditionally take her with celebration and ceremony back to the home. That is the one everybody knows. That was the common one, the very normal one. There was a second kind of marriage. You are a young girl, and sometimes the societies, because African society, you could have multiple wives. So sometimes your parent, maybe your father, had a friend, and when you are born, because they want to keep that family relationship, the man would start paying dowry for you the day you are born, and unknown to your relatives or whatever. When you came of age, then the news was broken to you, and there was nothing you could do, so you would go become a second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth wife. A lot of dowry with the elders, a lot of dowry will be paid, and you will be taken with the ceremony. And a lot of property, because this was a person who has acquired wealth, and the sons have acquired wealth through raids and all that. You would go with ceremony. But sometimes the girls did not want to get married to somebody their father's age. So, was there a way out? Yes, there was a way out. A girl would plan with a man, young man he's interested in, to hijack her. And what they used to do is, they will, the young men from that community or from the group of that man would talk and then prepare. The girl is ready to be abducted. So she goes with the others to the river, and you come like a group and you attack, breaking the pots with small sticks, things that cannot hurt them, whipping them everywhere so that people run across and you abduct her. And then when she is abducted, the young man quickly consummates the marriage. Now, after that, the father could not take her back. Nobody would take her back, because the person who went for a grinding test or a driving test together, now when that had happened, nobody else would check you from the community. So officially you are married. The father would come very angry because they would have to return the dowry and all those things. But you would know you have secured yourself the marriage of your choice, a man of your age, a person you wanted. But sometimes it did not happen that way, because long time ago, nowadays is when we talk of girls being beautiful. Long time it was character and ability to work. So you have a very good character. When you work at your home, you work very well. And maybe a neighboring person or a person interested, a young person, has approached you and you have turned him or her down. And he sees you are a very suitable wife. You're not in love. What would they do? They would secretly organize an abduction. And you would be abducted the same manner. And once the road test has gone on, you could not go anywhere, even if you are left. So you would cry, you would curse, you would do everything, but you are married. Then, there was another one, not now marriage in your society. When people came to raid from another tribe, because they raided when during raiding during raids, they would kill some men when they are fighting for cattle, kill some people whom they got. But if they got young women or women of marriageable age, middle age, and they were women, they would steal the cattle and steal the women. Very interesting scenario. So when you go there, there were some rights they would follow. Keep you, ensure that you, if where you came from, you are not pregnant, or if you are pregnant, they would see which child was born, because the child that was feared was a male boy born from that community will have to revenge their people. So if you had a boy, I don't know how they used to get rid of that boy, but if you had a girl, they had no problem, because the girl will grow as a girl in the society, marriageable within the society. Then, when you are captive, any man would choose you, because by then you didn't have much right to say. So would keep you, ensure that they go through the rituals, and then you are married. You're married, you have children there, you are considered as a member of that clan, that tribe. There were times also when clans would fight, or tribes would fight. And after fighting, and many people have been killed, and there is a peace agreement, then the chief of the other community would be given a girl from the defeated community so that they start a lineage that is of both blood of the two tribes, so that those ones cannot attack this tribe because of that lineage. Now you have a blood lineage, and you cannot attack them because you have a blood lineage. So this is a girl married because of sustaining now peace, harmony between the two tribes. It used to happen. That's why we have the story of Luanda Magere, the Luo hero, who was betrayed by a girl, by the way, but she had been married to him for that peace purpose. And there were times when, under normal circumstances, within the normal rites of marriage, two boys were interested in a girl. I saw that one happening during my lifetime. When I was working, I watched it on TV. It used to happen amongst the African community. Two young men get interested in one girl, and the girl has accepted both. You know, some girls are not able to make a choice. So now the boys come contesting. He accepted me. She accepted me. There are two. The elders in that community will sit down. And then this boy will organize a number of his friends. And the other one would organize a number of his friends. And they will be given sticks. And they will fight with sticks. The group that wins, that man takes the girl. And that was that. That was the way it was decided. Because she had accepted this one, she had accepted the other one, and now she's brought a problem. The people are in a quagmire, because you cannot tell this one, go, she had been accepted by the girl, and this one had been accepted by the girl. So what do the elders do? They break the tie. They ask you to have a number of friends, maybe 6, 7, another number of friends. You can look for it, sticks that one can, and you have a real fight. You fight until those who will flee. The winning party takes the girl, whether she likes that group now or not, and she's married. Some marriages, the girls were aware. Some marriages, the girls were not aware. Because the father was the determining factor. Your father would take dowry. And within a certain time, he tells you now, there'll be visitors coming. And when the visitors come, then you are told, now this one has asked for your hand in marriage. The elders have negotiated and we have agreed. And that was final. So you prepare for the ceremony and the day you'll have to go. When I was young, there were things that were happening also. When I was very young, there are some people who got married almost that way, the traditional way. A son has gone to work in town, and the parents are afraid that he may keep messing his life in town because people used to believe that the life in town was not straight. There are many prostitutes, there are many. So what the mother or the family would decide to do, they would look for a girl who was not related to him, who they thought was of good character, and maybe he didn't even know the girl. Then the mother would tell the girl, we have found you a husband, is my son of good reputation, he's got this job. Sometimes, that was the time when photos were there, black and white. This one, during my childhood, they were there. So this is the photo. And if the girl liked what she was told, then they would prepare for the day to go to town or to go to wherever. So the mother of the boy will take the girl and reach the home and tell the boy, I've come and I've got a visitor. And if it was a place where they would sleep until the following day. And then that morning, when the mother is going, he will tell the boy, now, this visitor you see here, we the family have seen you need a wife because of your age. And we have chosen this wife for you. You could not turn that down. And so a marriage begins that way. All the other ceremonies and rituals will be followed later, but you're already married. So during the good old days, those were some of the good old marriages. Which one would you have preferred? Not all of them were rosy, like we say. I talked to a grandmother, an in-law, a grandmother of an in-law someplace, and the story of her marriage was interesting. That was the time when people had started working. She'd been sent by the parents to the market, and she met this handsome man. And before she could talk about anything, the man and another man grabbed her and put her. By then there used to be those vehicles, the Land Rovers and whatever, during those old days. And she was taken to a home where she was kept with the first wife of this man now taking care of her. Interesting. Nowadays, can you take a woman to be taken care of by another wife that have brought you another wife? So until after some time, they now had to trace her home. And when the way people used to report, you are looking for your goat. We are sorry we found your goat. We are the one who has broken your goat's leg. You know what I mean? So from there, though they would complain, they would say a lot of things. But if the goat's leg was broken, we understand what I mean. There was no other alternative but to take the dowry and give them a blessing. So there were those who were married that way. There were those who were married going to the market and they were taken off that way. Some marriages went that way. But those were all recognized marriages. So, what says thou about the good old marriages? That is my take for now.